Good morning. We appreciate you being here today and hope that you will find solutions that can help you succeed. My name is Sherry Budziak. I am the founder and CEO of .org Source and co-founder of .org Community. Kevin and I are passionate about helping associations see around the corner and become more entrepreneurial in their approach to association management. At last year's Solutions Day, we talked about how Industry 4.0 would impact associations. We talked about how important it would be for associations to quickly change the way they operate and to serve their constituents in order to remain relevant. Back in 2018, we studied the impact of Industry 4.0 and how it could create the need for significant change for associations. And the outcome of that study was a book that we wrote titled Association 4.0, Positioning for Success in an Era of Disruption. And that leads us to today. We obviously didn't know that merely a few months after our 2019 Solutions Day, and just feels like a few days after our Innovation Summit, that a worldwide pandemic would accelerate the need for associations to really consider their future. We all know that the pandemic created uncertainty, and with the demand of digital services and experiences at an all-time high, associations serving their customers has become even more critical. It has accelerated a number of trends taking place over sectors from automation to social messaging and more. So once again, we wanted to study what this impact would have on associations and on the association business. We wanted to understand not only how it was affecting associations today, but how it will affect associations in the future. So we conducted a study to help us answer these questions. And over the next 20 minutes, I am going to go over the goals of the survey, give you some background about the recipients' profiles, of course, the results of the survey, and how organizations can position themselves for success in the future. In late July, early August, we issued the survey and had close to 300 association executives participating. The goals of the survey were to explore the strategies and tactics associations are developing in response to COVID-19, identify which changes will have a lasting impact on business models, culture, structure, systems, and human and financial resources, and learn how associations are enhancing resilience and strengthening their ability to face uncertainty and future challenges. So to provide some context, I will cover some background and participant profile information from the survey. So 61% of respondents were primarily individual membership organizations or professional associations. 23% were from trades, and 14% represented other nonprofits such as certifying groups, government, and charitable organizations. Respondents to the survey were predominantly those who were in leadership roles within their organization. A third of the respondents were members of the senior management team or executive office, and about a fifth directly reported to a senior management team member or the executive office. A wide range of organizations, sizes, and budgets were represented. Approximately half were from organizations with budgets less than $5 million, and a fifth had annual budgets of at least $15 million or more. So the survey overall identified an imperatives for change. Not surprisingly, most association leaders understood that COVID-19 pandemic is causing the need for significant change in the current association paradigm. And 73% of respondents agreed or strongly agreed that the pandemic has accelerated trends requiring fundamental changes in the role of associations, their underlying business models, and their strategic direction. Association leaders also identified threats to their viability. The need for fundamental change was recognized as a threat to ongoing existence of associations. 54% of the respondents agreed or strongly agreed that the change stemming from the pandemic will threaten the ongoing viability for many organizations. So out of the 12 items that were asked about how well they are currently adapting, the most frequently identified area of concern was having data to make good decisions, as well as concerns about revenue. And only 13% of the participants felt their association was adapting well in terms of achieving revenue diversification. So the good news, the environment has forced organizations to become more action-oriented, and the data showed this. 42% of organizations has become more nimble. 34% are also collaborating with other organizations, which I believe is really good news. The bad news is that only 13% are investing in skills for the future. Only a quarter of the participants say they have a vision for the future, and 24% have a plan that will generate sustainable profitability. What surprised us that 40% did not see any long-term change to their product portfolio. So almost 60% of respondents thought their membership models would return to normal. That was a little surprising, and we wondered, are these assumptions justified given the traditional association membership model doesn't really fit well with today's professionals or their employers? We'd love for you to join the chat to discuss and provide your opinion about the membership model as it stands today. And my bigger question is, how has the meaning of membership changed in the digital era? Another surprising observation was that 41% felt that in-person networking opportunities to foster engagement would return to the status quo. But we believe associations should be more critically examining their reason for being, as well as their underlying business model. And we think leaders should be taking more time to reflect on the broader perspective about the future. Respondents reported significant variation in participation and revenue for virtual events. About 24% of respondents said their organizations experienced a decline in participation by more than 15%. However, a similar proportion said they experienced an increase of more than 15%. The revenue picture was more problematic. About half said net revenue declined more than 15%, and at the other extreme, only 12% saw an increase in revenue of more than 15%. So, the increases in participation did not necessarily translate into proportional increases in net revenue. So we saw 6 key findings from the survey. First, when it came to viability, a slight majority felt that the impact of COVID-19 pandemic may threaten the ongoing viability of many organizations. Most respondents recognize the need for fundamental changes in association business models and strategic direction. When it came to work, respondents felt they were doing best at supporting remote work environment. As mentioned previously, respondents reported that online participation increases were not proportionally matched by increases in net revenue. Another key finding was that participants perceived their organizations as challenged by a lack of data to make good decisions in order to determine how to monetize and attain profitability for online events and develop a diversified revenue stream. And lastly, and most concerning, is while many respondents did envision lasting changes, they also indicated that several organizational building blocks necessary for successful transformation were lacking. When we asked about the key building blocks to sustain successful change, only 25% of the respondents agreed that their association could be characterized by having a clear vision, an operational plan to achieve profitability, adequate technology, information resources or business intelligence systems, or a clear digital strategy to support innovation. So, what do all these deficits suggest about the future of associations? And what can associations do in order to improve their chances for success? The pandemic really shone light on challenges that were hiding in plain sight all the time as before COVID-19. And as we work with clients, we are seeing that some of these issues are creating significant gaps in operations, such as weak systems and processes for remote work. While everyone was able to shift to working at home, their processes and systems are lacking collaboration, communications, and other gaps that we are seeing. Also, technology deficits. We're seeing that there's islands of data that's causing issues for making data-driven decisions, concerns with integrations or a lack of integrations that are causing deficiencies in operational efficiencies, issues with customer online experience, and more. Some other issues obviously are governance structures that impede agility and the ability to pivot with change, cultures that are not grounded in trust, low priorities for innovation, and reluctance to acknowledge change and uncertainty. So specifically, we asked the question, do you believe that these changes that are happening are temporary or permanent? I think the writing was on the wall even before the pandemic for associations. During last year's Solutions Day, we talked about the impact technology will have on organizations and how it touches everything you do and how you engage with your members and your customers. We talked about how it was time for innovation and the need to sustain relevance using technology advancements to stay connected with our members, our constituents, and streamline our operations. Associations are challenged to deliver value and keep pace with the corporate sector that is moving at the speed of light. Changing the way associations do business is a strategic imperative. We need to rethink strategic plans, our digital capabilities, our culture, and our customer experience. Many of these changes that we believe we need to embrace have already been on the horizon and are being adapted by forward-thinking associations. Some of these things include remote work, freelance support, cloud computing, better use of video and virtual technologies, marketing automation, AI, digital transformation. So I believe that the changes happening today will have a long-lasting impact for associations and hopefully a positive impact that we've had to really move quickly in order to serve our customers. Like with other industries, associations need to transform to be relevant in this low-touch economy. No longer are we meeting in person with our customers, and we really need to rethink our strategies. Sharon Rice, who's our Managing Director of Business Strategy for .org-Source, and I conducted a webinar about this very topic in May. We talked about what associations can count on and what they can do in this new economy. So you can get access to this webinar and other related content as part of our program today. We have this webinar in our bonus content, and you'll have access to it for the next 6 months. So we predict there will be challenges on the horizon for associations that are doing business as usual without considering adaptation to a digital marketplace. There's going to be a need for on-demand customized services 24/7, ability to pivot to meet market demands, and capacity to innovate, experiment, and iterate. Our future will require us to use automation to create personalized experiences and create high customer value. It is important now to pull ourselves away from programs that are not resilient and push ourselves and our resources to efforts that will be resilient. We know that we need to be more agile, digital, and more data-driven than ever before. So you might say, Sherry, so what's next for associations? The survey indicated that significant work needs to be undertaken for associations to achieve the type of strength and resiliency that will help them emerge from the pandemic and navigate future disruptions. So, in conclusion, we saw that respondents tended to feel that the response to the pandemic for their organizational culture was becoming more flexible and innovative, as well as it was being characterized by enhancing collaboration and teamwork. I think that it's going to be very important for organizations to really focus on how to keep staff engaged and their members engaged in this new environment. However, participants indicated that other organizational keys to success and long-term success was problematic. These included shortcomings such as a clear vision for the future post-pandemic, human resources that need new skill sets, data and business intelligence to foster strategic decision-making, operational plans for sustainable profitability, a well-defined digital strategy, and capital resources. So get your phones ready, because we are going to provide you with some direct access to resources that you can start and use today. So get your camera ready and hold it up your phone over the QR code to access and download the white paper on 7 steps to transformation. This paper provides steps and strategies that we have used to help successfully lead customers into transformative change. The paper talks about and focuses on a focused vision, that the organization knows why it exists and what is most important to the organization, that we need to be adaptive, flexible, and nimble, and outline strategies and tactics for future-oriented and being able to constantly evolve. It talks about being innovative, risk-tolerant, and being able to experiment. We're not as business as usual, and the organizational mindsets and structures and culture really needs to support change. So, and also looking at robust business intelligence systems. Data systems support decision-making, including environmental scanning systems and real-time feedback. We see that this was the biggest concern for associations, is a lack of data, the lack of information, and not because they don't have the information, but aren't able to report on the information because of siloed data, because of the lack of ability to understand how to pull reports, etc. And enabling technologies. Digital transformation is a core strategy and should be integrated throughout the whole organization and not just in IT. We've been saying that for many, many years, that really to transform yourselves and think digitally needs to be an organizational-wide strategy. And looking at the financial health, in addition to operating performance and diverse revenue streams, the organization needs to have capital resources to invest in transformative change. Also, if you'd like to get access to the full report, you can do so by, again, using the QR code or going to the link directly. We will also put the link in the chat, and we will send it out via email this week. So throughout the day, we encourage you just to keep a notepad handy and write down something that you can do and do differently tomorrow. We all say one day or day one we'll do X, but make day one tomorrow. So you can make change even if they're little changes. Maybe you'll lead a new initiative, or engage with your team differently. Maybe you'll implement a digital hack that will spike engagement with a target audience. And maybe you'll develop a new way of thinking about your role or about your association or both. Since 2005, .org Source has been helping position associations for success. Whether you need help elevating digital experiences, navigating the impact of COVID-19 on your organization, creating a new product strategy, or improving your operations, we are here and dedicated to helping you deliver value, stimulate innovation, increase revenue, and operate strategically. So reach out to me and let me know if we can help in any way. Digital business is important to the health of our organizations. So in our efforts to help associations lean into digital and embrace the future, in 2018, we held focus groups and interviews with over 200 association leaders and wrote the book, Association 4.0, Positioning for Success in an Era of Disruption. We also released our newest book in February of 2020, Association 4.0, An Entrepreneurial Approach to Transformative Change and Risk. You can find both of these on Amazon. In the meantime, we'd love for you to connect with us. Again, using the QR code, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can connect with Kevin using the QR code on LinkedIn for LinkedIn as well. So we appreciate you joining us today. We will be available at the end of the day for our live Q&A program and hope you enjoy the event. Thank you.